Hello, I'm James Cridland, the Radio Futurologist, and this is Radioland, my international radio trends newsletter, which is from radioland.email. And this podcast is sponsored by rss.com. You might have heard some ads in there. That helps pay for this particular podcast, and that's excellent. It's a thing that RSS runs called Paid, which stands for something, but I've forgotten what it stands for. But Paid is very good and gets you advertising and therefore gets you revenue. But if you don't want to hear those, then that's all cool too. You can just take a quick peek into Apple Podcasts and become a supporter in there, and you'll get this very show ad-free, and that's all good too. That's functionality that rss.com has also made available. Now, this week in the Radioland newsletter, there is a beautiful picture of a Pat a Cake baker's van. It's got McGee's on the side, who are a family bakers up in Glasgow, and it looks very pretty. And on the back is this very bright, colourful ad. Who knows that bakers' vans are taking advertising, but they do. There's a big ad on the back of this van, and it's for Ewan and Kat at breakfast, which is very impressive for Greatest Hits Radio, and a little bit of information on how you can tune in to Greatest Hits Radio on there as well. It's very impressive, and it was taken only this morning in Glasgow in Scotland by an eager Radioland reader. It's very smart because being a bakery delivery van, it's most likely to be seen at breakfast time. Therefore, that's what you're probably likely to be behind rather than something else that might only deliver during the day. This is going to be delivering during breakfast time. So very clever, catching people in the car, helping them have a listen. I'd have made DAB a little bit bigger, but that's all good. So congratulations to Bauer Media. The only slight problem is that Ewan and Kat left Greatest Hits Radio last July. And now they're on a competitor called STV Radio, and they've been there since January. Radio in the UK is mostly researched by recall. It's people remembering who they were listening to and ticking the right box in an online diary. The question is, what people would tick after listening to Ewan and Kat in a traffic jam, looking at that. The BBC made an announcement this month about the future of BBC Radio 4 Longwave. In the early 1990s it was due for closure. Then in 2011 they confidently suggested that it would be off by the end of the decade. In 2022, they announced that they would stop scheduling separate content on Longwave. They announced an information campaign in 2023, pending the switch-off, which was planned for March 2024. Then the BBC suddenly said it was staying until June 2025, and then announced that it would be on until sometime in 2026. And now it's now. And they say it's going to close later this year. It's quite the long goodbye. Incidentally, I hear, and this isn't going into the newsletter version, but I do hear that the electricity companies are paying some of the costs to keep it going for rather complicated reasons that if you ever catch me in a pub, I will talk about it, if you like, if I've got a beer in my hand. The BBC is to cut as many as 2,000 jobs. That's the biggest round of job cuts at the BBC since 2011. That was announced by Rhodri Telford-Davies, who's the interim Director General, prior to Matt Britton's arrival at the corporation next month. Can't work out whether that means that he's doing Matt Britton's bad stuff ahead of Matt Britton arriving, or whether he's doing Tim Davies' bad stuff after Tim Davies leaving. Don't really understand how that works, why somebody who is only interim ends up essentially sacking one out of 5 people, I think it works out as. I really don't really understand how all of this works, but it's apparently required to save £500 million, $675 million US dollars worth of costs. And in a beautiful silver lining, nothing will happen quite yet. Individual BBC employees will only learn whether they're affected later in the year. Happy summer holidays, everybody. I've said my piece about the BBC's poor way it treats its people many times. Won't repeat that all over again. Super Hi-Fi announced a new music scheduling service that's powered by AI, and I do think that there is a place for AI and machine learning in this space. Everything else is rules-based, isn't it? And in fact, 25 years ago, I pushed the output of Virgin Radio into Last FM under a secret username, which I think was Dickie BVR or something like that. Anyway, I was curious to see what the recommendations would be and whether they would be helpful to programmers. I'm not sure that they were, but I'd be very interested in seeing the differences between Super Hi-Fi's music scheduling and the usual ones from RCS and others. In a blog post, Dan Taylor-Watt suggests that media companies are hiding the use of the word AI in the disclosures that they're making, which you'd have to assume there's something there about AI being seen a little bit negatively. Now, where am I speaking next? I am speaking at the podcast show in London. Oh, I should also just apologise to you if you were very upset about me calling Casey Kasem tedious and dull last week. I know that somebody was upset enough to send me 3 angry emails, but I've unsubscribed them, so they won't have to deal with me calling Casey Kasem tedious and dull anymore. So that's all okay. Now, where am I speaking next? That's where I was. The podcast show in London in the UK. I'll be keynoting at that event, as well as recording a Pod News Weekly review there as well, and moderating a panel. And there will be drinks beforehand, which I believe we're trying to find somewhere for. It's probably going to be a pub somewhere, which I think we might take over. But we'll see what happens. Yes, that should be fun. That's in May. Forward, which is the Western Canada Media Conference in Kelowna in BC. Never been to Kelowna. I've been to Penticton, which is just below. So I'm looking forward to being in Kelowna in June. It should be nice. Details are to be confirmed on that, but you can find out more information on their website, which is fwdconference.ca, because FWD is how they've titled it. Forward. See, FWD. Yes, very good. And Radio Days Asia in Jakarta in Indonesia. I'm looking forward to being there and looking forward to talking hopefully about the future of radio there as well. And thank you to the many supporters of this podcast and of the newsletter as well. Daffy Furnham, Marty from New York, Gavin Watson, Greg Strassel, Sam Phelps, Richard Hilton, Emma Gibbs, Jocelyn Abbey and James Masterton for being regular personal supporters, and the excellent corporate supporters who include Meliora, Play It Software, Jukwa, Radio Today and Radio Zeit. Thank you all so much for those. If you would like to support my work in any way, then you can buy me a coffee. That would be nice. buymeacoffee.com/James Cridland, or subscribe to the Apple Podcasts ad-free version of the podcast, or both, or neither. There's a podcast version of this newsletter if you prefer that. Oh yes, of course there is. I'm just reading it now. And I'm on Mastodon as James at bne.social if you are there as well. And if you want to find out more details about who I am and what I do and whether I can help you further, then please do. That is at james.cridland.net. And until next time, thanks for listening and keep listening.